Welcome back, Ronin Renegades. I'm Lupinefiasco, this is Daily FaB Gameplay, and today we are playing Cindra, Dracai of Retribution. For anyone who is new to the channel, welcome to the Empire. What we do here is review replays of games I played on the Talishar.net client days or weeks ago, after enough time has passed that I lose my bias and can more objectively judge the quality of my games. I will talk through turn cycles as if I were taking them now, giving my thought process for the lines I would take, and comparing those to the lines I did take at the time of recording. We either learn from my mistakes or reinforce good play patterns with the overall goal of tightening and optimizing our gameplay in the future to take down paper events and walk away with that shiny, shiny cardboard. If you like what you see and would like to try this deck for yourself on Talishar, there is a FaB deck link in the video description below. While you're down there, if you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. It is the best free way to support me and to make sure that you see every new episode of Daily FaB Gameplay in your YouTube feed. I also have a Blue Sky, a Discord, and a Patreon, links to which are in the video description. Patrons at the Arc Lightning tier or higher will get access to all of my matchup guides for all of my deck lists forever, including this one. Now, without further ado, let's jump right into the gameplay. Against Zen, we were lucky enough to win the die roll, and we've chosen to go second. I know some players have said that Zen prefers to go first because he can transcend on turn 0 or push some damage, but the really nice thing about Cindra is that a lot of our cards block for 3, so if Zen is testing our hand to make sure that we can block, in most cases we can. So for the most part, we just get that turn 2 aggro advantage of being the first one to push damage. Now here we do have Zen transcending on turn 0, which is a shame. We of course would have preferred for him to not do that. Thankfully the damage is a little mitigated based on levels only seeing one blue card in pitch zone. So we can go ahead and start blocking here, expecting that we'll take, the levels will attack for 3, the Crouching Tiger will attack for 0, and then Mauling Chi will attack for 5 with an extra point on hit. So we are going to need to cover up both the levels and the Mauling Chi, which we can do with Blood Runs Deep, Lava Burst, and Lava Vein Loyalty. It's a shame to give up 2 premium cards in Lava Burst and Blood Runs Deep, but we at least get to keep Wrath of Retribution, which we are very happy to do. We could potentially think about going for a power play here and taking 3 from the Mauling Chi, right? Blocking with just Lava Vein Loyalty, and taking 2 points of damage from the Mauling Chi and then 1 point from the on-hit, and we keep Blood Runs Deep and Wrath of Retribution in hand, and if we happen to draw into another blue, then our turn is just insane. Or if we draw into even Rising Resentment, Brand with Cinderclaw, Ronin Renegade, and another Draconic Head Jab, then our turn is insane. But because Zen can output so much damage, we just want to block, right? We can give up our big 4-card, big damage turn in order to just mitigate some life loss. We've got 2 Concealed Blades in hand. We can't really use them super effectively. We do care about putting another dagger into discard so that we can play around Passover. So how we could think about sequencing this turn is pitching Concealed Blade to play Wrath of Retribution. As a reaction, use Flick Knives to flick one of our kunai, then Concealed Blade to pick up that kunai. Pick up our 3rd kunai from inventory, and then Dagger, Compounding Anger. The downside of that is we lose some dagger damage from the kunai. So if we pitch blue for Wrath, Dagger, Flick, Cindra, Dagger, Compounding Anger, we are pushing more damage. That is a total of 10 plus 5 is 15, and then we Arsenal Concealed Blade. We're going daggers down. So pushing a 3-card 15 is great. It's a really good line. We could think about Dagger, Compounding Anger. That doesn't super work because we end up taking an intellect penalty. So I think the best way to play out this turn is to go for that 3rd dagger in discard, which means that we are looking to Wrath, pitch Concealed Blade, flick, play Concealed Blade. If Zen has the D-React, then we're kind of in trouble. We could Arsenal the Concealed Blade and look to throw it on a different turn where we think that Zen might not have the D-React. But in this case, if Zen is blocking 3, then I'm pretty confident that he does not have a way to stop this. Maybe he has 2 Transcend instants, one of them being Drop in the Ocean, and we just get got. But it's a chance I'm willing to take because the upside of getting that dagger into our discard so that we just don't have to care about Passover ruining our turn cycles is just too good, right? Having the 3rd dagger to play around Passover is Cindra's version of having the turn 0 Transcend, at least in this matchup. And so I'm willing to give up some damage, and I'm willing to take the risk that Zen just has the nuts in order to put that together, and we get rewarded for it. So we have our daggers, we no longer need to care about Passover, and we are going to play out the rest of this turn. So overall, we're pushing 13 damage here with no arsenal and daggers down, which is, 2 less than the maximum we could have gotten from this turn. But at the same time, we do have that 3rd dagger, and we'll see if Zen plays a Passover. Maybe that comes back to haunt us. Do we want to think about Pouncing Links here? I don't. There is a world where we break Pouncing Links, break Flight Path, grab Blood Runs Deep, and Blood Runs Deep is equal to 8 points of damage, where we Blood Runs Deep for 2, it throws both daggers for an extra 2, so that's 4. We Cindra, buy back our daggers, and push 4 more. Do we make Pouncing Links worth 8 points of damage? I mean, it's tempting, and I actually like the play now that I think about it. We do lose some value because we didn't get our point of block out of Flight Path, but this has the potential to be such an explosive matchup that I really do want to get my Pouncing Links value now. Let's just get it out of the way. Getting 8 points on Pouncing Links is pretty good, right? The minimum for Pouncing Links is 5, because that's just Lava Burst that is not buffed in any way. Once you start getting into your Salt the Wound turns, 6 or 7 is pretty good. So if we're getting 8 out of our Pouncing Links, I feel really good about that decision. Now, at the same time, as a Pouncing Links gamer, you will learn very quickly that your ability to make your opponent care about what you're doing goes way down without the Pouncing Links. Cindra is exponential. All Draconic Ninjas deal damage exponentially, meaning that the more cards they have in hand, the more damage they will do. More so than a linear hero like Dash, Inventor Extraordinaire, because Draconic Ninja has Spreading Flames, Draconic Ninja has Salt the Wound, Draconic Ninja has, we don't have Flight Path anymore, but Lava Burst, Flight Path, Salt the Wound. Things that say the more cards we keep in our hand, the more damage we deal. So if Zen just throws kind of a clunker, maybe doesn't pressure us in any way, and we get to keep 5 cards, we could definitely just blow up. But without the Pouncing Links, we are pretty face up. If we throw 3 head jabs and have 1 card left in hand, it's pretty reasonable that Zen can expect 5 damage maximum following that. So let's take a look at what Zen is doing here, breaking Pouncing Paws in order to throw Pouncing Chi for 3 go again. We're expecting that Zen is going to transcend with one of these 3 cards. That means he gets a resource, gets a tiger, and gets Chase the Tail would be the worst thing that he could pick up. Mauling Chi would mean that he has a card left in Arsenal. So our hand is fine. We cannot activate Cindra for free based on attacks. We will need to pitch a blue in order to get our daggers back. Now, does that mean we play Brand with Cinderclaw, pitch 2 resources, float 1 and pick up our daggers? Does it mean we do Brand, Burning Blade Dance, pitch a blue, float 2 resources and pick up our daggers? We can get to that, but it does mean that we need to hold on to a blue. If we hold on to 2 blues, we could pitch at the end of Zen's turn, pick up 2 daggers. On our turn, we can then pitch a blue, attack with a dagger, break the chain, dagger, Brand with Cinderclaw, Burning Blade Dance, Flick, rebuy both daggers. We could keep a card in our arsenal. Our options are open, but it does mean that we don't mind blocking with a throw dagger. We would like to keep the other 3 cards in our hand, or at minimum we keep Brand with Cinderclaw and just arsenal it. We're not going to block the Pouncing Chi, certainly. It's just 3 damage. We don't care. We're at 40. There's no on hit. We want to see what Zen tutors with the Chi, because that's going to tell us what he can still do with his turn. If it's a Mauling Chi, then we're expecting that he might have a head jab somewhere in here. Breed Anger tells me that it's probably Tiger Swipe. This Breed Anger is going to come for 4. The Crouching Tiger is going to come for 0 because Zen has already procced the Shuko. And then Tiger Swipe will come for 4. With just 2 Tigers as the on-hit, we aren't really concerned. Zen has no resources, so it can't be a Chase the Tail. It can't be Mauling Chi. The worst thing it could be is another Tiger Swipe, which again is just damage. Zen can't use the extra Tigers. So we're not going to block this Breed Anger. We're not going to block the Crouching Tiger for 0, of course. We are just going to put, I would like to put a throw dagger in front of the Tiger Swipe. We'll take a point of damage. Zen gets his Tigers, can't use them, probably just passes the turn. We don't know. One of Zen's remaining cards, either the hand or the arsenal, I could be totally wrong. One of them could just be 100 wins. It could be 2 Tiger Swipes, and then Zen doesn't have an arsenal that we need to worry about. But I feel like I can get 3 value from a throw dagger, and that is going to be worth more than pitching it to Cindra here, picking up 2 daggers. So I think this is a mistake. The reason being that blocking with the throw dagger would have been worth 3. Pitching it to Cindra is effectively worth 2 because we get our 2 daggers back and we already have a blue. So this is where the second blue in Cindra's hands really go down in value. In a pinch we can use it, we can pitch to Cindra, but the hand that we're pitching into doesn't really enable a big turn. So I would like to just mitigate some life loss. So now what do? We attack with a dagger, we pitch throw dagger. I'm expecting that Zen is going to block the Burning Blade Dance, so I don't feel like only having 1 dagger is going to cost me too much damage. If Zen takes it, then I feel bad because I can't Burning Blade and Flick Knives. I potentially could, so if I dagger close, float 2 resources, dagger Burning Blade, I could Flick Knives the Burning Blade Dance, which I would like to do anyway. And if Zen takes the Burning Blade damage, if he doesn't have a defense reaction, doesn't block, then I can Cindra in response, pick up both of my daggers with my floating resource, and then throw 1 with Burning Blade Dance, so I do get my 4. It just means that I'm going into my next turn with only 1 dagger. That said, I do have this Brand with Cinderclaw that I'm going to arsenal, so I don't feel terrible about only having 1 dagger. I feel pretty comfortable that I can get my turn started kind of no matter what. So we're just waiting to see what Zen is going to do here. We get no reaction. Understandably, we don't need to vest. So at this point, I would like to close the chain. I would like to close the chain. Close the chain. There you go. So we're going to dagger, Burning Blade Dance, Flick Knives, see if Zen lets the Burning Blade Dance connect. Zen's turn was pretty good, right? Dealt 11 points of damage off of a 3-card hand, kept an arsenal, still has 6 points of armor, including Traverse the Universe, which finds Chi. This is a little confusing to me. I guess I am expecting to keep the Burning Blade Dance in arsenal. I think I would rather keep a starter, and Brand with Cinderclaw is a pretty good one because it lets us play through Oath of Loyalty, which Burning Blade Dance does not. Burning Blade Dance is playable under Oath of Loyalty, but we can't turn a Snatch or a Salt the Wound Draconic in order to get through the Oath restriction. Zen transcending 3 times defensively is interesting. I don't know Zen well enough, so if someone in the comments can tell me how they think Zen might have piloted this turn differently. I understand that Drop in the Ocean needs a target, so is this line better than pitching one of those Chi instants, attacking with Kakara, and then double transcending. And the reason I wonder if double transcending is better than triple transcending here is that because Zen is doing this defensively, he cannot benefit from Kasaya. Zen could have 3 resources right now. I mean, we'll see. Maybe Zen's hand is just now 3 Chi and Cosmic Awakening, but considering that he is pitching a Chi, that might not be the case. What does our hand look like? What are we doing? Do we care about this Kakara? We have Burning Blade Loyalty in Arsenal. We have Display Loyalty hot on their heels. So we can just play out a pretty normal turn cycle here. We pitch Lava Vein Loyalty blue, attack with the dagger, break the chain, dagger, hot on their heels, Display Loyalty, Burning Blade Dance, Arsenal, sink below. So overall, we're getting 12 points of damage out of 4 cards and buying back both of our daggers at the end of the turn. We still have the option to buy back both of our daggers in response to the Burning Blade Dance trigger, deal an extra point of damage, make it a 4-card 13, and go down 1 dagger. I don't mind that. It means that we don't really care about blocking this Kakara. What do we need to have a functional hand, a functional turn? Well, we need this blue, and we would like to keep the Display Loyalty, if only because it attacks for 3 and blocks for 2. With a single blue, we can attack with the dagger, close the chain, attack with the dagger, attack with Burning Blade Dance, flick the dagger, activate Cindra with our floating resource, rebuy both daggers, and pass the turn. So in a pinch, we can block with hot on their heels and sink below, and still have a functional turn. We can block with Display Loyalty as well, even though we're losing value by doing it. It means that I really don't mind blocking this turn, but it doesn't need to be the Kakara. We lose value blocking the Kakara. It doesn't have an on-hit. We still know that Zen is holding on to potentially a Chi. I believe he could have bottomed one with Rising Sun, Setting Moon, so it's possible that we don't know what 2 of Zen's cards are. I would expect that Zen might consider holding on to one of these Chi to aggressively pitch to Kasaya and really stuff our turns. If this is a Breed Anger, then again, I'm kind of expecting Tiger Swipe here. Zen does have enough cards in hand that this could be a blue to pitch to Chase the Tail with Aspect of Tiger in hand or Arsenal. It could be a red that pitches to those. It does mean that I am starting to more seriously consider using the sink below now. And I think I should, actually. I think I should sink the Breed Anger and then not use the sink effect. The reason being that Zen is potentially holding on to a blue and Command and Conquer, and I really don't want to need to deal with the Command and Conquer without being able to use my entire hand, right? I want to block the CNC with 3 blocks. I was hoping to have turned that Display Loyalty into a 3-block just in case of the Command and Conquer. Kind of rambled through that. The point being that we want to use our sink below before a potential Command and Conquer. So instead we're just looking at E-Strike for 7s and taking not a bit of an intellect penalty here, but not getting that full value from E-Strike. So now we get to do a little value math and decide, do we care about blocking this? We would go down to 18. We are then losing as far as effective life total because Zen has 6 armor to our 2. Hot on their heels attacks for 3 and blocks for 3, so we get equivalent value. By blocking or attacking, we don't need it to get a turn started, and we don't need it to pick up our daggers. So I actually like blocking with Hot on their heels here, just because we are trying to put this 5-card Spreading Flames turn together for whenever we draw it. And we want to have enough life total remaining that we can just tank hits from Zen. Which is also to say that we can block for 6. We can block with Hot on their heels and Lava Vein Loyalty and just take 1 point of damage. Our turn is probably attack with Burning Blade Dance and Arsenal Rising Resentment. But I really do want to block with at least Hot on their heels, so I disagree with this line as well. we have an end game, which is finding Spreading Flames and putting a 5-card Spreading Flames together. We just need to be able to survive through whatever Zen is going to do. We're not threatening any on-hits, we're not threatening lethal, we're not threatening any sort of disruption or exponential damage with this turn. So if we just send 12 damage here, 9 damage, and keep a card in Arsenal, Zen breaks Traverse, has a 6-card hand, and we're at 18, we're probably dead. So I think that was a misplay on my part. I should have blocked with the Hot on Their Heels. We prompted Zen to block with Tiger's Eye Reflex, which is not really a loss for him. I guess he could have pitched it to Kakara instead of blocking with it, so technically he loses some value. But it would have been much better if we were just at 21 or even 24 here, and Zen's using the Kasaya, the Traverse. So this does feel like we've kind of screwed up. We can use our Flick Knives here. See if Zen wants to break the Kasaya. I assume not. This line doesn't make too much sense to me. I guess Zen just got stuck. I mean, had the Tiger's Eye Reflex and a defense reaction. The overblocking here just seems like this was not the Traverse turn, right? Just wait. We're looking at 5-card Zen, holding on to a Chi, I assume. That the Chi was not what got sank to the sink below. The hand that we draw into has a number of 2 blocks. Thankfully, they are pretty good ones, so Ignite pays for Kunai, which means that we can Ignite Kunai Break Chain, Ignite Kunai Rising Resentment, Flick, buy back both daggers. So we're looking at 3, 6, 9, 10 damage. We have a Hot on Their Heels as well. Again, we're in that situation where Hot on Their Heels blocks for 3, attacks for 3. We don't get exponential damage out of it. I would like to play a little defensively, especially considering that this is Zen's pop-off turn. Now, Flick Flack being used to pitch for the Chase the Tail is really good for us. We don't know what one of Zen's cards are. We can assume that the card in hand or in Arsenal is Aspect of Tiger, but then we don't know what the other one is. Maybe it's 100 Winds, maybe it's Tiger Swipe, whatever. We are looking at least 10 more damage this turn. 4 from Chase the Tail, 3 from Aspect, 3 from Tiger. I would like to do blocking, and I can afford to do blocking with Throw Dagger and Hot on Their Heels. At least with Throw Dagger, because we don't need it to pay for our Kunai. We have Ignite for that. Hot on Their Heels, attacks for 3, blocks for 3, does not get exponential value. So I would like to use both of them for defense and just mitigate life loss. Take 4 from the face-up damage. See, maybe Zen wants to Tiger Swipe us and we go down to 10. But Zen would lose his Arsenal by doing that, has broken the Traverse. So this does seem like a pretty good situation for us if we can just mitigate some life loss. We're pushing 10 points of damage. We are putting Zen into a position where even 2 cards in hand present lethal. So let's block with Throw Dagger, let's block with Hot on Their Heels, let's use our 3 blocks defensively. Tiger coming in for 4, of course, because Zen did have the Tiger from Tiger's Eye Reflex, did not need Aspect of Tiger, that's on me. In my head, Chase the Tail means Aspect of Tiger, but Zen did have extra Tigers. So the Tiger Swipe here should not get just the auto take damage, right? Still, we want to mitigate life loss. But the reason I did it so confidently is, again, Zen is in a position where the extra Tigers don't do anything. He could Crouching Tiger, Tiger Swipe again, threaten 4 more damage, but without a floating resource, Zen can't do another Chase the Tail. So we don't care about the Tiger Swipe hitting. If Zen has a resource, suddenly I care a lot about Tiger Swipe hitting, and I'm going to seriously consider using my Blood Splattered Vest and Hot on Their Heels to block it out so that I don't get double chased. But with 0 resources, I don't care. So I'm assuming this card in Zen's arsenal is a defense reaction at this point, which would be very unfortunate that Zen had the 4-card D-React hand. I could understand why he wanted to break Traverse, just to try and keep some momentum. It was a very good turn for him, considering that he had 3 defense reactions, 2 defense reactions and a Tiger's Eye Reflex. But even so, I don't know, I feel like that was not the best use of Traverse. I'd be interested to hear what Zen players have to say, as notably, I am not a good one. I suspect what my line here is going to be is Ignite, Kunai, Hot on their heels, Flick, buy both daggers, pass. Trying to keep an arsenal for that exponential damage. It is weird to me that I was so fixated on putting together the 5-card Spreading Flames turn, but not maintaining the life total necessary to face tank damage in order to play it. Having Spreading Flames, a blue, Blood Runs Deep, Lava Burst in hand sounds really good until you have to start blocking with cards, and suddenly you are not doing nearly as much damage as you thought you would. So Zen with another clunker, Tiger's Eye Reflex and Sink Below. I get that this is the mid-range list, this is what Zens are trying to do, but golly, does that feel bad when you just keep drawing these clunkers. And Sink Below even being used to block Hot on their heels is a value leak from Zen. Not that he had a way out of it, but really good for us. And speaking of really good for us, we are looking at a very spicy turn here. So at minimum, we can Rising Resentment, Blood Runs Deep, Compounding Anger for a total of 15 damage, and we can even look to get a 16th point in there if we rebuy daggers with Cindra on the Compounding Anger chain link and then flick one. But if we keep this entire hand, suddenly things are looking much better, and we haven't even used our vest yet. So what I want from this hand is to keep one of my starters. I would like to keep 3 of these cards if possible. I want my turn to look like Rising Resentment from Arsenal, Rising Resentment from hand, Blood Runs Deep, throw both daggers, use 2 charges of vest, put 2 stains counters on it, activate Cindra to rebuy both daggers, attack with 2 daggers, play Compounding Anger, flick. And if I can do that, then I'm looking at 3, 6, 10, 11, 12, 13, 18 damage, which Zen needs to care about. Zen needs to give us, I believe, 2 cards to not be dead unless he has a defense reaction. And even then, I believe it's still 2 cards considering armor blocks as well. If Zen just naturally draws into Chi, we're kind of in trouble, which is something to think about, but we will see what happens. I'm not going to block the Kakara. I'm not going to block the Crouching Tiger. I am going to sit on my hand. I would like to block with Lava Vein Loyalty if I can, but I don't need to. If Zen isn't going to threaten lethal, then I kind of don't need to care. Looking at a Tiger Swipe for 5 with Go Again, this is where I want to block with Lava Vein Loyalty. It blocks for 3, and specifically what I'm afraid of is Grain that tips the scale, which I have not seen yet. If this card in Zen's arsenal, Jesus, is Grain that tips the scale, we just die. We just take 6 points of damage and die. Correctly realizing, I guess, that Zen didn't have the Grain, I mean, that is a very risky move for very little payoff. We are also now dead to Tiger with Shuko. I have not enjoyed the way that I played this game, and I understand that for all accounts, Zen is a better aggro deck than Cindra is. Maybe I feel like I need to play more recklessly in order to try and get these edges on Zen, but so much of the aggro game plan into Zen is just making sure that you can live to fire your pop-off turn, and somehow I've managed to do that, so perhaps this game was played perfectly, but I feel like I've been way too reckless with my lines here, and I don't think that that is correct. So we've gotten blocks out of Zen. Zen has needed to care about what we're doing, playing the Flick Flack and then giving a combo card as well. Here I'm using the stains because I am looking for that big damage turn where Zen needs to care. Having blocked 8, Zen still needs to give us a card So that could be the Kasaya, because at this point, we can still threaten lethal, actually, because we throw Rising Resentment, Dagger, compounding for 10, and Zen needs to give us a card from hand. He can't just give us Shuko. At this point, I am activating Cindra because I have 3 Draconic Links on the chain, and then I'm going to close the chain so that Zen can't use Kasaya. As a Zen player, you have the opportunity to use your Kasaya in resolution by pitching Chi, but you cannot respond to your opponent closing the chain. And as the Cindra in this situation, if your Zen blocks with Kasaya and then does not use Chi to activate the Kasaya in resolution, unless you need your chain links for some reason, in this case it was activating Cindra, but unless you need your chain links for some reason, close the chain immediately. Get Kasaya off the board so that Zen can't use it. I've made that mistake plenty of times myself, letting the Kasaya live, and then 3 chain links later, Zen makes the Zen state. We're just throwing damage at this point. Rising Resentment coming in for 3. We're going to flick a dagger to come in for a total of 4, potentially putting Zen down to 2. Compounding Anger will come in for 5, which would necessitate Zen blocking with 2 cards, actually. The 3 block could be Shuko, could be a 2 block from hand, but this has been a really good turn for us. Now, would I prefer to be at 4 and have Zen be at 9? I think so, because I'm still threatening lethal, but us being at 1 is fine. We can give our vest here without using our 3rd stain counter. Ideally, we would use the stain counter if we could. We'll see if we need to block with the vest. We'll also see what Zen wants to do. Notably, Zen does not have a way to make Zen state without using wax on, wax off. This is something that we can respond to with flick knives to get a point of damage across before the wax off triggers. So Zen needing to preserve life total because flick knives is now putting him on a clock. The real reason I wanted to show this game is because this line is sick. So what we're going to do here, notably we cannot play Oath of Loyalty and Snatch in the same turn because we don't have Fealty or Brand with Thunderclaw to make Snatch Draconic, which means that Snatch is the best card that we can block with here. We cover 2, we don't die, we stay at 1, and then we get the sickest 3-card hand that I could possibly put together. We play Oath of Loyalty, we play Ignite, which lets us activate Cindra because we have now reduced the cost of activating her ability to 2, and we have 2 Draconic Links on the chain. Then we flick knives one of the daggers on the Ignite chain link, use Vest to generate a resource, use that resource to attack with the kunai, and then play Lava Burst. So a 3-card 13 is not the most insane thing that a Draconic Ninja could come up with. 3-card 13s are pretty commonplace for FaB, but what makes this line so sick, in my opinion at least, is that it is a 3-card 13 with 4 chain links with no blues and no daggers at the start of the turn. This is just a very cool thing that Cindra can come up with. I was hesitant to play Ignite in place of blues numbers 13, 14, and 15, but this turn would not be possible if Ignite was a blue, because the blue would not be a link on the chain. This turn is also not possible if Zen has a Zen state, but most of Cindra's turns aren't possible if Zen has a Zen state, so we won't hold that against this turn. Zen needs a defense reaction to not have to give us 2 cards to not be dead to Lava Burst. And even if Zen does have the defense reaction, can block this for 4 and go to 1, it's pretty likely that we are able to generate daggers and then flick them on our next turn. Now, that being said, we've drawn into a pretty poor hand. So what we will want to do is activate Cindra, pitch one of our 2 blues, it doesn't really matter which one, in order to make 2 daggers. We can then, on our turn, kunai, snatch, flick knives, activate Cindra. Notably, we cannot close the chain after we attack with the first kunai, because Snatch is not Draconic. So if we kunai, close chain, kunai, Snatch, we have one resource floating and one Draconic link. We could get aggressive with it if we wanted to pitch our Sync below, but I feel like arsenaling Sync here is just an incredible line for us. All we need to do is survive. We have Flick Knives, Zen has played Homage, Zen would need Wax On, Wax Off to make the Zen state. We're going to flick a knife here, it's going to take Zen to 1, and then we just need to live through one more turn. Literally any attack Flick Knives wins the game after this. So Sync Below and Arsenal just says we have time to keep literally any attack. So we'll throw the Snatch. We're hoping to get 2 cards away from Zen. We're going to Flick Knives, put Zen to 1, Arsenal the Sync, and we should just be good. The game should be over at this point. And in fact, we even do just get there because of the dagger. So managing to clinch one over Zen, and we still got outvalued like crazy. We had a heater coming up with Spreading Flames. Notably, Zen never made a Zen state. Zen had some real clunky hands with all of the defense reactions and blocks, but I was just very happy with the way I played this game out. I felt like this was a good showing from Cindra and showed some of the very cool things that she is capable of. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you learned something from it. If so, be sure to jab that like button. I don't expect that Cindra is going to have many wins over Zen because Zen state absolutely destroys us, but it at least isn't quite as hopeless as I thought it was. My comments are always open for any questions or feedback. If you have not already done so, please consider a YouTube subscription. It's free, it helps me out a lot. I have a Blue Sky, a Discord, and a Patreon, links to which can be found in the video description below. If you're playing in Memphis this weekend, good luck. If you are spectating Memphis like I am, I'm hoping for a really good performance from our Draconic Ninjas. I'm a little down on them heading into this meta. They would not be my choice for Road to Nationals or London, but there are plenty of fantastic players out there who can prove me wrong, and I'm hoping to see some Cindra or FaB in the top 8. If for no other reason, then I can incorporate their deck lists into my own. I will catch you all next week, where I will be talking more Draconic Ninja post-Memphis. Until the next time I see you on Daily FaB Gameplay, take care.